Okay, so there is a crazy setup that I've been thinking about over the last couple of weeks, and I just want you guys to follow through this video and let me know, does this even make sense? And it seems like it could actually be the next Amex trifecta, actually a platinum card and a gold card killer. And with me today, I have my good friend Lalit Devraj, who has his own channel who talks about points and miles maximization. He has over 50 credit cards and a lot of experience, so he's going to help me through this and help us through this conversation today. So the first thing I wanted to mention is the cards in question. So we're talking about the Amex Platinum card and the Amex Gold card versus, to what I'm theorizing, might actually be a better duo, being the Delta Reserve card and the Delta Platinum card. And I think that this setup might actually offer more benefits, including lounge access, yearly credits that are a lot more usable than the Platinum cards and the Gold cards, you know, daily, monthly, hourly credits that everybody hates, right? And allow you to pay basically the same exact price. So what we're going to do is go line by line on the two cards in question. So the Amex Platinum card and the Delta Reserve. So one of the major reasons that a lot of people actually keep the Amex Platinum card open is because of, well, lounge access, right? Like they can go to the Centurion Lounge, you can go to the Delta Sky Lounge, Escape Lounges, and even Plaza Premium Lounges. But for the most part, when you're talking to people who have the Platinum card, it's because they want to go to Centurion Lounges, right? But what about the Delta Reserve card? I don't think people really realize, but the Delta Reserve card can also get you into the Centurion Lounge. You might be saying, okay, that's crazy. How come I haven't heard this before? But if you look right here, it actually states that when you have the Delta Reserve card, when you pay for a Delta flight with your Delta Reserve card, you can gain access completely for free, just like the Platinum card, towards the Centurion Lounge. Not only that, but starting February 1st, 2025, you're also going to be getting 15 complimentary passes towards the Delta Sky Lounge, again, paying with your Delta Reserve card and having a Delta flight that day. And then also, when you go to the Sky Lounge completely for free with your Delta Reserve card, at least 4 times you could bring a guest in completely for free as well, which is something that can't be said about the Amex Platinum card. You got to pay $50 every single time you bring somebody into the Delta Sky Club. Unless you kind of just sneak your wife past, kind of like I did, maybe. Did I do that? No, I didn't do that. Never mind. It's just a joke. So right then and there, I mean, if we're just talking lounge benefits alone, I mean, okay, both cards basically do the same thing. The only caveat is for the Delta Reserve is you have to fly Delta. And I guess one of the biggest caveats to this whole video is you have to actually like Delta. If you don't like Delta, then maybe this is not the right video. But if you do fly Delta, you know, at least semi-often, kind of like myself, stay a little bit longer because there's actually some other crazy benefits to these cards. So let me ask, before we even get forward into all the other benefits, let me just ask Lalit, you, if someone who's traveled a lot, you went to a lot of lounges, would that alone get you to go and get a reserve card versus a platinum card, you think?
I think it's a pretty good benefit. At the same time, if I'm only needing to fly Delta for me to get into the Centurion Lounge, but with the Amex Platinum, I can fly any airline and get into the lounge, I think that's the real question. More than that, the Amex Platinum, it has your fine hotel resorts and the hotel collection kind of credits that they give you. So there's something more there too.
Yeah, that's actually a good point, and that's why the next point, actually, for the Delta Reserve card, we actually have our own hotel credits. If you look right here, the Delta Stays credit, and if you're unfamiliar, Delta Stays is their own hotel booking platform that uses Expedia for all their stays. It basically allows you to book any hotel you could ever want for in life. If you look right here, you can see there's Hiltons, Hyatts, and Marriotts, just without having to have their own respective points for those hotels. And the Delta Reserve specifically has a $200 credit every single year, the exact same amount as the $200 hotel credit that comes with the Amex Platinum card. I guess the only difference there is that when you book through fine hotels or resorts or hotel collection with the Platinum card, you're getting all of the added benefits of FHR, like increased chances of room upgrades, about $100 in experience credits, and $60 in breakfast credits, depending on which property you go to. If you use Delta Stays, however, usually you're getting a bit of a discount, sometimes upwards to 25%, but you don't get all of the other benefits that you would through FHR and what have you. However, some people have mentioned, especially in the venture capital Discord, that you can actually book through platforms like Privy or Virtuoso or Stars, and they can get you basically all of the same benefits that FHR gets you without actually having to have a platinum card in the first place. So something to definitely consider as well. And one thing I found personally with Delta Stays, just by using it over the last few months, is I really like the types of properties you could really get into with Delta Stays. Maybe they're not the most lavish. I mean, they can be, but you have a lot more of an eclectic mix. Like, look right here. I was able to book this Hobbit village in the middle of Knoxville, Tennessee. You can even see right here, there's like log cabins in the middle of nowhere. So a lot of unique stays you can actually get through Delta Stays. but again, maybe not the most luxurious. So then you might be wondering, like, okay, the Platinum card, you really value like the Uber credits, right? You know, you get $200 every single year. Uber Cash, you can use it for Uber rides or just Uber Eats. And then you might be wondering, like, Anthony, you know, does the Reserve have any type of like food credits whatsoever? And the answer to that is, well, actually, yeah, it does. The Delta Reserve, you can see right here, comes with $240 in Resi credits every single year. And if you're unfamiliar, Resi is a booking platform to allow you to get reservations to restaurants in your area. It has restaurants from the low end all the way even to the high end. And this credit specifically gives you $20 every single month towards a Resi restaurant. So theoretically, you could take your Delta Reserve card, go to a restaurant that's on Resi, pay with your Delta Reserve card, and you'll get the $20 back in the form of a statement credit just a couple days later. So I guess right then and there, I mean, if you're somebody who lives maybe where there's a lot of Resi restaurants, yeah, sure, you might be able to use that $20 every single month fairly effectively. But if you're in a place that only has high-end, really expensive places, then yeah, maybe the Uber Cash would probably make more sense. So this way you can order like a pickup at, you know, Bojangles and what have you. But me specifically, I have some Resi restaurants in this area that I could actually get a decent meal for just $20. So for me, I probably could value the full brunt of that $240. And since it's not going through Uber Eats, there's no upcharge, which is a big consideration when a lot of people are doing the numbers on their Platinum card is, you know, how much of an upcharge is it on these platforms? So I guess speaking of, like, maybe you're somebody that doesn't use that $200 cash towards Uber Eats. Maybe you do use it towards Uber and you want to take rides in your city, what have you. Well, also comes with $120 in rideshare credits that can be used towards these ones on the screen right here, like Uber, Lyft, Revel, what have you. Now, the Delta Reserve card comes with something the Platinum card does not, which is a companion certificate. And for those people who are unaware, basically if you buy a ticket in cash or with e-credits for a Delta flight, and of course there are certain restrictions on when it's actually available to you based on the flight, also based on the area that you're flying to, so a lot of nuances to this, but at face value, you're essentially getting a buy one, get one free ticket, whether domestic or international, so long as that the taxes and fees of those tickets are not more than $80 on domestic flights and $250 on round-trip international flights. But what this essentially means, and what I've seen and heard a lot of people actually do in the points a mile game, is they'll buy one round-trip ticket for themselves, maybe it be about a $500 ticket, something like that, and then use their companion certificate to get their spouse's ticket completely for free. So one, it sucks that you have to pay cash or e-credits, but then you're saving $500 by their ticket being completely for free with this certificate. And then really depending on how you value it in this, you know, metaphorical situation, $500, well, you can technically deduct that against the $650 annual fee and lowering that annual fee substantially. But again, depends on how you're using it and where you're using it, and even if you're able to use it, right? And if you have experience with this, let me know down below. I want to hear your experiences with the companion certificate and if it's even easy to use in the first place. Not only that, but also for the folks that actually got the Amex Platinum card for the global entry or TSA pre-check credit every 4.5 years, then yes, the Delta Reserve also comes with this same credit. Now let's go down in this setup again, right? So we have the Delta Platinum card versus the traditional Amex Gold card. Now this is a video I actually did maybe about 8 months ago comparing the two cards, and a lot of people actually noticed that, like, for a Delta flyer, the Delta Platinum card might even be way better than the Amex Gold card is, even in its own respective category, so I'll explain. Now, the Delta Platinum card has an annual fee of $350, whereas at this current date at the time of filming, the Amex Gold card has an annual fee of $250. So the Delta Platinum card is $100 more expensive, but it comes with a lot of extra benefits. So at first, we're going to cancel out all the benefits between the two cards. So again, much like the Amex Platinum card, for the Amex Gold card, going through all the perks, it has Uber Cash, which we mentioned earlier is for Uber rides or for, you know, Uber Eats. But then also the Amex Gold card comes with a $10 a month dining credit that can be used towards these few restaurants and or Grubhub, which most people use it for. The Delta Platinum card now, after this current revamp, also has its own food and rideshare credits respectively. So you're also going to be getting $10 a month in rideshare credits that can be used towards Uber and the ones I mentioned earlier. So if you are using your Uber Cash on the Gold for rides, then this actually is really beneficial to you. And then also, like I mentioned earlier, it comes with a $10 a month Resi credit. So if it works in your area, that also can cancel out the dining credit of the Amex Gold card. So right then and there, you have $240 in credits that kind of cancel each other out based on the examples I already mentioned. But then you might be asking, like, okay, I guess in this perfect world, we're getting $240 in credits respectively for each card. The Delta Platinum card comes down to $110 in annual fees, and the Amex Gold card goes to $10. So still, the Platinum card is more expensive, but there's way more value that the Platinum comes with. Like, for example, the Delta Platinum card also comes with its own credit towards Delta stays, so hotel stays and whatnot, so that already is bringing the annual fee into the positive range if you can effectively use all of it. And then again, the Delta Platinum card also has its own companion certificate that can be used towards all those flights that we mentioned earlier, which also has the same potential of value that the Reserves companion certificate comes with, so it's very possible in a world where you get a $500 ticket completely for free and you value it as such. I mean, that one perk alone on the Delta Platinum card easily pays for the annual fee, and even sometimes over the annual fee. So with the Delta Platinum card, which is supposed to be like an airline credit card, I have my rideshare covered, I have some food covered with Resi, I also have some hotels covered, and I have my flights covered, not even to mention welcome offers and how many Sky Miles you get, right? And then if you also have family members or children and whatnot, and they need their own global entry or TSA pre-check benefit, the Delta Platinum card also comes with its own credit towards that as well. So it's like, man, I can't help but see this and just think like, these Delta cards might just be better than the Platinum and the Gold. I don't know, maybe I'm crazy. And another thing I didn't even mention too is when you have the Delta Platinum card and the Delta Reserve card at the exact same time, you're going to be getting a 2500 MQD boost on both cards, aka giving you automatic silver status with those two cards respectively. And silver status, a lot of people kind of sleep on, myself included, but it does include a lot of things like right here with upgraded priority towards getting upgrades, some benefits on the plane right here, and much more. And a lot of people, myself included, have also mentioned like, okay, silver status with Delta, is it really that great? But you were just telling me that there was a story where you actually were upgraded to, what was it, first class from silver status? What's that story?
Yeah, so it's a very special use case, even though it seems like the lowest level of status with Delta. It's not like hotel status where the lowest rung may not mean a whole lot of nothing. What happened in my situation was it was a weekday flight and it was an opportunistic time of like midday, let's say. And it was a nonstop flight specifically from Orlando back to Atlanta. I was in economy and I got bumped up straight to first class. And the flight attendant gave me a handwritten note saying, hey, thank you so much for being like a silver medallion member and all the good things and extra snacks and stuff. And although that was a one-off situation, it's basically proof that, hey, status has its perks. Sound like a marketing guy, but yeah. So, yeah.
That's right, status have join the founder's card. Right? Another thing I didn't even mention is when you hold these Delta cards, you're also going to be getting 15% off anytime you pay for award flights, aka flights completely in miles. So if you have a flight that was 100,000 miles to book, well, now you're getting 15% off, so you only need 85,000 miles to book that same flight, aka saving 15,000 miles, and depending on how you value that, could be worth at least at minimum $150 in value back just by holding these cards, which does have to bake into the annual fee as well at some point. And another funny thing, that's something I've mentioned, is that the Amex Platinum card comes with its own concierge service, so you can call Amex and they can book reservations for you, figure out the best restaurants, figure out the best places to stay, send flowers to your spouse. And the most notable story is finding a pair of pants for somebody when they went to the bathroom and there was no toilet paper, right? But what I didn't realize is that the Delta Reserve card also comes with the concierge service. I think it's the only other card, I guess, other than the Centurion card that does have concierge service, which is like, I'm really surprised to see that, and that, makes me think. I'll just say that. It makes me think. Okay, so those are the main perks and benefits between all four of these cards, but what about the bonus back multipliers? The Delta Reserve is, kind of a slouch in this category, just giving you 3 points per dollar spent on all purchases made directly with Delta, whereas the Amex Platinum card is going to be giving you 5x back on any airline as long as it's direct with the airline or through the Amex Travel Portal, and then also 5x per dollar spent on hotels through the Amex Travel Portal. What is it about these high-end cards that just don't give you any multipliers back? I mean, the rich people want multipliers too, right? And this is where it gets a little bit interesting. So we know the Amex Gold card is giving you 4x back on all US supermarkets, all restaurants, and then also 3x back on
flights.
The Delta Platinum card is actually very similar. It's going to be giving you 2x miles back at restaurants, 2x back on US supermarkets, just like the Gold card, but then it's also going to be giving you 3x miles at hotels, directly with hotels worldwide is what they say. And then lastly, 3x miles on Delta purchases, pretty much the same exact thing as the Delta Reserve card, which can be used towards upgrades, miles, seat selection, in-flight purchases of food and beverages, which you do get 20% off, by the way. And no, it does not include Delta gift cards. I'm sorry. And honestly, there is just so much information on all of these cards that I'm sure I'm forgetting probably a lot of things, but let's just go down to brass tacks. Let's just see exactly the comparison between these four cards and see what makes sense for you in your situation and what would maybe make sense for me in the way I use points and miles and credit cards. So let's put these 4 cards on the screen right now. We get the Platinum, the Gold, the Delta Reserve, and the Delta Platinum. Okay, so starting from the top down, all of the annual fees are here. Bam, bam, bam. Okay, cool. We got all the annual fees. So now let's add in all of the credits, the major credits that come along with these credit cards. Cool. Okay, now let's add the multipliers. And then let's just put in some extra perks, benefits, statuses, and whatnot all along with these 4 credit cards. So if I'm being really candid, just looking at all 4 of these cards, I feel like the only thing I'm kind of missing out on is maybe just a little extra boost on some food multipliers with the Amex Gold card, and then also the Find Hotels and Resorts program that you could book direct with the Amex Travel Portal, but we already mentioned that you can use other sites like Privé and Virtuoso and Stars and whatnot. Even if they are a little bit less known, they still come with the same benefits of FHR, so I don't know if that's necessarily a problem. But then it gets even a little spicier, because think about it. Everything that comes on the Delta Reserve card and the Delta Platinum card also comes over and carries over to the business versions of those 2 cards. However, the business versions come with boosts. That's right, the same annual fees, but the Delta Stays credit on the Reserve and the Platinum are upped by $50. So more value for a business card that's not going to affect your 524 status. And that just seems like that's like mind-blowing. That's mind-blowing to me, where you can still get a bunch of chase cards if you want while holding this setup, which the same can't be said for the business versions of the Gold and the Platinum. Those are in some cases higher annual fees, and also in some cases way different credits that come with the personal version. So I don't know. This seems like kind of like a no-brainer for some people. I don't know about you, so definitely let me know down below if this setup even makes sense. Am I crazy? Am I a madman? Does anything make sense that I said in this video today? Please let me know down below. And if you want to check out all these Delta cards I mentioned today, you can scan the QR code on my screen right here. And as always, thank you guys so much for being here. And as always, thank you guys so much for watching. I appreciate you.